Yep, you're listening to Business Podcasting Made Easy, the Influencer's Formula, where you get a roadmap to instant authority and thought leadership with a podcast that you're proud of. This is episode 31, Repurposing Quotes, Memes that position you as a unique expert, authority, and or thought leader. I'm Donna Kunde, co-founder of the IBGR Network, global radio authority, podcast expert, and producer of over 14,000 podcasts.
Yes, and I'm Ben Joya, a thought leadership unto myself. Three-time international best-selling author with teachings that reach more than 50,000 people worldwide. Thanks to leveraging my books, you're going to be learning that kind of stuff. You have been learning that kind of stuff all throughout this process. And because we're here to help you get your podcast done in just 13 minutes at a time in just 13 weeks. It's really that easy, right? So remember, you can follow the plan at influencersformula.com. And if you want direct live support from us for your business podcast, contact us today at ibgr.info. Once again, that's ibgr.info. And I love this quote from Merrick Furst. The biggest difference between time and space is that you can't reuse time. Woo! Welcome to the show.
That's good. That's good, because we're talking about repurposing. We're talking about your playbook. This, if you have been following since the beginning, we set up weeks 1 through 4, where it was your thinking, the strategy, before you even get behind the mic, creating the roadmap, getting the vision, getting everything mapped out. And then we did a couple of episodes on mic etiquette and how to record and how to choose your formatting. And are you going to do it with 2 people or 1 people, interview, blah, blah, blah. Then in week 7, we switched to the Podcast Profit Playbook and building those muscles. So bringing you up to speed right now. Yes, you need to build the muscles. And yes, you need to do these 4 things. And then as we move into future episodes, you can pick and choose. So not to overwhelm, but I think I just want to say right here, it's so important to do each one of these 4 things, because you already have the content. Just schedule the time to become a person worth listening to, because you're taking the nuggets from your shows and you're coupling them with an image that represents you and your brand, and you're sharing them. And that's what this episode is about. It's about creating those visuals that people love to share. These words have come out of your mouth, and now you can take ownership. You can even put your name on the original quotes. You know, Ben, we start out with our hook is typically a quote from somebody else. But the why is this important? The what you need to do, the take action, all of those that's your original content. You can turn that and put a little hyphen plus your name. And now imagine that being shared with other people.
Yeah. There's so much power in repurposing, in leveraging, in taking what you have and making use of it again and again and again, right? Because it works and it's what people want to hear, because they've indicated that they want to hear it through downloads, you know, through interaction with your content. So if you think about it, if you go through this process, 52 podcasts, right, in 13 weeks, each of those podcasts has, you know, as many as 5 individual items. If you're just looking at the show notes, right, the hook, the why, you know, the what, the take action, you know, all of those pieces, right? So 52 times 5, that gives you up to 260 pieces of content. Right? I mean, that's a year's worth of content. That's 2 years worth of content, depending how you're using it. That's 4 years worth of content, right? Like, remember that Breck commercial? I told their friends and she told my friends, and so on and so on and so on. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
You're not really dating yourself at all.
Not at all, not at all. And I also don't really have any hair, because I haven't used shampoo in about 15 years. But aside from that, 260 pieces of content that you've pretty much created already. Like, why the heck would you not do that?
Yes, thank you for saying that. What we're hoping at this point is that your eyes are opening up to the fact that you have created enough right now to last you a while. in the social media world, in the publishing world, you know, in your marketing world, in your content marketing world. You just need to spend a little bit of time. When we say stop creating, it's stop creating new content behind the microphone. Don't make new podcasts right now, because you've created a complete season. Now it's taking that piece that you've created and repurposing it, and yes, creating something new, a little bit different out of it. And in this case, I like Canva, because I think it's pretty easy to create the different graphics from there. But just pick a platform. There's a lot of them out there. You can even do them on your phone while you're standing in line. That's the beauty of it. When you have all your stuff together, you can do it on your phone even. Now that we're back out standing in lines again to get the content done. Just think about connecting the dots again from the first segment to the second segment and the third segment of today's show, of this week's episodes. You're building out content strategy that people pay lots of money for, that you've already created, and we're telling you step by step how to do it. There's this thing on social media that says, you know, you want to post more than once a day even, because people come in at different times. And when you're creating the audiograms from the last episode, and you're now creating the memes, the visual content here, you can do that. You'll have enough content to post even 2 or 3 times a day if you wanted to.
Yeah. And if any of this is sounding overwhelming or confusing, take a breath and, you know, realize that it doesn't have to be. Right. So if you're just joining us for the first time, go back to follow the roadmap, right, from influencersformula.com. You know, the answers are all there. And if you want to get to the answers even faster and you want direct support from yours truly and Donna, right, contact us today at ibgr.info. Once again, ibgr.info. And we're going to say again, you know, continue to stop creating, right? You've already done that. Great job, right? Use that time that you would have been recording shows to easily repurpose your content, right? Like Donna said, using a tool like Canva plus your show notes, right? Donna, what's your expression I hear from you often, right? Is, you know, measure twice, cut once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect example of that. And, you know, you listener have done such a good job creating the content, right? It doesn't have to be a one and done thing. You know, this is not the meteor blazing across the sky that's dissolving into nothing, right? This is something that truly can be both a legacy and a living legacy for you and for your business.
Thank you for saying that, Ben, because there's so many podcasters. I hear some that, you know, the 100th podcast is such a milestone for some, and it takes them years to do that, because there are podcasters that will produce 1 podcast a month.
Yep.
That's 12 podcasts a year.
Yeah.
Do that math. You're creating 52 in 90 days.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can reach that 100 mark milestone with 2 seasons of this process. And
because you were so intentional about the way that you've created it, because you're following our formula and you're following the show notes framework, now all you have to do is extract what you've already done and put it here and put it there and put it there. And it's so much easier than having to sit down and think about, well, what shall I do now? What should I do now? What should I do now? One of the hardest part about social media and marketing strategies is that people don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And they have to sit down and not only think about, well, what do I put on a meme, or what do I do with this thing? You've already done that part. It's just copy and paste.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. And, you know, this comes up a lot, Donna, with my book authors, right? I tell them, you know, think as little as possible through this process, right? Take what you've created and, you know, reuse, repurpose, leverage, etc. Because the less you are thinking and the less decisions you have to make throughout the day, you know, 1, it's going to make your day a hell of a lot more pleasant. You know, 2, you're going to have a lot more energy and be open to magical mystery and possibilities that come through, and 3, heaven forbid you actually pick up the phone in the evening for that telemarketer, you're not going to buy that set of Ginsu knives because, your decision-making power has not been eroded away from making little silly decisions like, what am I going to say next in my marketing, right? Just take the stuff that you have already and just bring it forth in a new piecemeal form.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm bringing up the religious books again. I don't, whatever, if you don't have to be a faithful person in any of the religions, but if you just look at the fact that how long they've been in existence, and then think about how many books have been written off of that content.
Right.
Think about how many programs have been written off of that content. Think about how much that content has been repurposed, because it's this, somebody did it once and then other people are repurposing it, and you can do the same thing with your content.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, think of, West Side Story and Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right. I mean, there's not really anything new in many ways under the sun. And I don't say that as a criticism or limitation, right? It's just that, it's all out there, and what's your version of what's been created, with the new, unique twist that only you can give it, as the unique expert authority, thought leader that you truly are.
Yes. So the take action for this episode, we want you to block some time and get it done. You're going to be so happy that you did. Create those visual memes, whether they're Instagram squares or, LinkedIn rectangles, whatever shape, size you want to do them. Just get them created, get them branded to look similar to the graphics that you've already been using with your show, and give people on social media something worthwhile to share, because you've created it, and you are that person to be that follower. We are wrapping up now. Business Podcasting Made Easy, the Influencers Formula, episode 31, repurposing quotes, memes that position you as a unique expert authority and or thought leader on the IBGR network. I'm Donna Cundy.
And I'm Ben Joya. Thank you for being here, and keep listening.
Yes, keep listening, because we have one more that's going to blow your mind. Don't go anywhere.